Intel i7-14700KF, 32GB of RAM, and RX 9070. Not TX, just 9070. 16GB, which is nice. And the biggest question, is it enough to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 at 4K? Let's find out. 4K resolution, experimental graphics settings, so maxed out, no FSR. And at pure 4K resolution, we at 37 FPS. This is very impressive. This is FPS of 3090 or 4070 Ti Super, I believe. And this is newest Radeon lowest tier card. This is quite incredible. So I believe XT version will have 5 to 10 more FPS here. And this is quite big boost. This is area of 5070 Ti, I believe. We are utilizing 14.4 GB of VRAM and almost 16 GB of RAM. And look at our graphics card temperature, 48 degrees only. This cooler is doing such a good job. This is quite unbelievable. Basically, it's very cool card. You can basically touch it, I believe. So basically, AMD just showed to Nvidia how it's supposed to be done. This is not very powerful graphics card, but look at this FPS. This is 4K experimental. It's quite demanding settings, and we have this kind of playable FPS, in my opinion, 36. We can still utilize FSR 4, which is very good, and we will have good graphics and high FPS. The only problem right now is frame time. It's 28, 32, 50 and goes down, so small stutters we have here and there. And because of our very low FPS, our frame time is a little bit on the heavy side. So we will definitely need FSR 4 quality or balanced. And I wonder how performance will look. This is first time me seeing this card working, to be honest. And I am very curious myself. But as you can see so far, it doesn't go below 29 FPS, 30, 32. Oh, hello horsey. It's Roach, right? I can't get enough how good looking this game is. Just such a masterpiece. Let's switch on FSR quality and make sure to switch on if you're going to use this card or next card next year. FSR 4 and AMD Adrenalin software. And to make FSR 4 work, you'll have to switch it on in a game, exit the game, switch it on in AMD Adrenalin software, open the game, and you will have new FSR in your game. And remember, it should be only FSR 3.1. FSR 3 is not going to work. And we're at 55, 53 FPS. So from 30 we went to 55 almost, 46, 50. We gained quite a bit of FPS, to be honest. What is interesting, picture is exactly the same. Nothing changed at all. It still looks like native 4K. But we are getting more FPS. Now this is more than playable, in my opinion. And remember, we are using experimental graphic settings. Normally you should play this game on such cards on ultra settings, not experimental at all. As I believe experimental a little bit broken, and that's why I have such FPS hit. That's why they called it experimental, not like super ultra or ultra plus or something. I believe developers, they wasn't sure if this will work great for them, and they changed name just to tell us that this is experimental. So just you're not supposed to use it unless you have like 5090 or something like 4090. Even with these settings, we're at 51, 48 FPS. This is quite impressive because this card doesn't cost that much. And we have this FPS. Our VRAM is 13.2 GB, still 49 degrees card, very cool. And we utilize 16 GB of RAM. Our frame time could be lower slightly. I wish it could be like at around 10 milliseconds, not like 22, 24. But now I can see that if we'll set ultra settings, we should have 70 plus FPS. We should have very playable FPS. But I wonder how FSR performance will look. Because FSR 4 is like big step up for AMD and should look quite good in my opinion. We will find out in seconds. I know that if you will go through the forest, through the leaves, it should drop your FPS quite significantly. And let's just find out. 39, 42, and right now we have 38. It is very stable. Very stable FPS. Bravo AMD. I'm very impressed with this card. I've never been so excited for AMD card ever. This is like first time. And now let's set FSR 4 to performance. Still experimental graphics settings, and I wonder what FPS we'll have. And will it destroy our image quality? I mean, like, it's a little bit softer, just slightly, and our FPS kinda the same. Didn't change much. We gained like 5 FPS here, maybe 7. Not much, to be honest. And the game looked a little bit softer, I can definitely tell. But this is like quality FSR before. Now FSR Performance, which is very, very good. On previous AMD cards, as lowest as I could go is FSR Quality. Everything else used to just destroy image quality, and it was not worth it at all. Just like everything is just blurry, you have distortion everywhere. It was just horrible, and it wasn't using AI. Now it is using AI, and I can definitely tell that now it's still playable, but we didn't get much FPS from it. I'm very surprised. Just like 5 or 10 FPS, maybe 15, but this is not enough for such picture quality hit. I wish it could be like 80 FPS, like DLSS is doing. Still 4K resolution, ultra graphic settings, no more experimental, and FSR quality this time. And we are getting 67, 70, 69 nice FPS. Why I kept FSR fork at quality? Because it doesn't change picture quality that much, almost at all. It still looks exactly the same. I can't see any difference at all, so let's just keep it on. We'll get more FPS, which is nice. And our FPS is just beautiful. It's 60 plus experience, utilizing 12.1 gigabytes of VRAM, and RX 9070 only at 50 degrees. This is very, very cool card. If FSR 4 will be implemented correctly in all future games, this is the card to go. Or maybe XT version to get a little bit more FPS, maybe like 10-15% more. But if you cannot get XT version, check this out. This card is absolutely fine. I cannot spot any problem with this card at all. This card is cool, great FPS, FSR 4 is working. Lots of VRAM, 16 gigabytes, so everything is just perfect about it. To be honest, I'm trying to find any reason to hate this card, but I cannot. I think this card is just perfect. For £500 or $500, this is the way to go. And let's see forest area, we're almost there. And our FPS 58. 60, 57, 55. Okay, we're going down slightly. 52, 58 still. I mean, like, it is fine. It is fine for this game. Just perfect. Still 4K resolution, ultra settings, but FSR 4 at performance. I wonder what FPS we'll get. And look at that. Now we scaled our FPS correctly. Kinda. 79, 80 FPS. So we gain like 20, 15 FPS on top. And yeah, now it is even more than playable, and everything is still very, very sharp. I'm very surprised by FSR 4 and this card. 71, 72, utilizing only 11.7 gigabytes of VRAM, and this is very cool card. Still very good FPS. What can I say? This card is perfect. That's it. And the last place I want to check is the town area. And our FPS still above 80, 87, 86. Everything's still so sharp and nice. Very, very good looking. This is FSR 4 Performance. In conclusion, AMD finally did it. They created a perfect graphics card. I see no minuses at all. Radeon RX 9070 has perfect FPS, perfect price, perfect VRAM. Everything's just perfect. I'm shocked. Yes, buy it if you can. This is very, very good card. But FSR 4, I wonder how many games will have it. I think all of them will have it, in my opinion, probably. I hope. And if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.